What's up everyone, WizardKen here with another first impression video. Now today's tank we're going to be looking at for the very first time is just one of the British Tier 10 tank destroyers, the FV4005 Stage II. That's right guys, we finally got this bad boy unlocked and I can't wait to take it out for a spin with you guys for the very first time. Now I did go ahead and put on the ammunition I want to use, and also some of the equipment. I didn't have enough to buy all the equipment I would like to put on this thing, and also I put the consumables, but other than that I haven't done anything else with this tank. Now let's go over the itinerary that we're going to be doing for today, and I apologize for my dog squeaking in the background. George, can you please, I'm trying to record something important here, please, or get, oh my god. Anyways, so the itinerary that we're going to be going through today is, first we're going to be starting out with the stats of this tank. We're going to go over the stats, but also we're going to be comparing the stats of this Tier 10 British tank destroyer to the FV215B 183 or 183 Death Star. And the reason why we want to do that is because both of these tanks have the exact same gun on it. They have that derpy gun that a lot of people hate seeing in the Death Star. They hate getting one-shotted or pretty much getting most of their life taken away when they get hit by a Death Star. So I wanted to check out the other aspects of these tanks compared together, meaning I wanted to make sure, George, seriously, Jesus Christ, I'm going to take his toy away. I wanted to check all the other aspects and see how they do together, so we could try to find out which tank is better than the other. Now, a lot of you guys have already played both of these tanks or seen both of these tanks, and you probably have made your choice of what you think is better. But I want to look at the hit points a lot more in depthly. I want to look at the speed compared to each other. I want to look at the armor and stuff and see what it's compared like. And then after we're done with that, we're going to take this bad boy out for a spin and see what we could do for the very first time. And then I'll give my first impression thoughts at the end. Now, remember, this is something I want you guys to remember. This is not a review of this tank. I repeat, this is not a review of the tank at all. Okay? I will review this tank later on in a different video, but I need to get a lot more time in it before I can give it a proper review. There's no sense of me taking this tank out for the very first time and reviewing it. That would be stupid. That would be unprofessional of me sitting there taking out for the very first time and saying, oh, this crap, this is a crap tank, or this is a great tank, and then later on after playing it a lot and finding out it's crap or good, so I want to give it, just like I do with every other tank, the benefit of the doubt and give it as much time as possible before I do a review. So remember, this is not a review. Anyways, let's jump into the stats real quick, and then we'll get into a battle. Alright guys, so let's take a look at the stats on the FV4005 Stage II and compare them to the FV215B 183 Death Star. Now, I'm going to be calling the FV4005 Stage II just Stage II throughout this time, so we're not repeating that big-ass long name anymore. And then we will refer the FV215B 183 as the Death Star, so that we don't have to repeat that long-ass name anymore. So anyways, starting off with the Stage 2, the hit points on this tank is 1,850. On the Death Star, we're looking at 2,000 hit points. So there's about 150 difference in hit points. Now, that might not seem like a lot because all your Tier 10s are pretty much going to sit there, and 150 points is a lot less than most of them can do in damage in a single shot. So, but why does this matter? Hey, any little bit of hit points can help because, when you get hit by HE round or anything like that, it takes off random amounts of damage, just like any other shell. But, maybe you get knocked down to 1 hit point. A lot of us has been there, where we've only had 1 hit point left and somebody else that we know had a little bit less hit points and they died from that same explosion. So that's always a good thing to have more hit points. Now, the Stage 2 speed on it is 35 kilometers per hour, where the Death Star only does 34 kilometers per hour. Not a huge difference, so really, to be honest with you, I would just call them equal in that sense. Now, this is where the stats start getting really interesting. Now, the Stage 2's armor. The whole armor is 76 on the front, 51 on the side, and 38 on the rear. Where on the Death Star, it's 152 on the front, 51 on the side, and 76 on the rear. Now let's go to the turret armor and go over that, and then we'll talk about these armors real quick. So on the Stage 2, the turret armor is 14 on the front, 14 on the side, and 14 on the rear, where the turret armor on the Death Star is 254 on the front, 102 on the side, and 76 on the rear. There's a huge difference between the Death Star and Stage 2's armor. I mean, majority of it is just in the front. Because if you look at the side armor and rear armor on the whole, they're pretty close to each other. I mean, the whole armor in the middle or on the side is the same, and then the Death Star has a little bit better armor on the back, but it's really not that much difference. But really what we need to be looking at is the front of the whole armor and the front of the turret and side of the turret a little bit, because even that is a lot more than the Stage 2. So the Death Star, like we said, is 152 on the front. Now, if you look at the Death Star in the front, it's got a slantness to it, but then it's like a landing pad that's sitting there. A pretty little landing pad for artillery shells to go on, which kind of sucks. But then again, when you look at the front of the Stage 2, and it doesn't have that landing pad in the, per se, of the whole armor, but the turret is a huge landing pad for an arty shell. But it doesn't even, you don't even have to have an arty shell to pen this thing. This thing is so weak in the sense of stats, anything's going to pen it. So my basic thing is, on the Death Star, you can kind of play that aggressively. You still need to be supportive, because you got a 30-second reload time on that tank. But I've gone into city maps and went up there to the front, shot what I need to shoot, and then I pull back. And with that armor, I've had bounces here and there. Now, in this thing, if I try doing that, I'm going to get myself killed. No matter what I do, I'm going to get myself killed. I'm going to have to play this just like I play all the other tanks. This line is very, very supportively, because all of them have had crap armor. None of them have had anything good except the fully rotating turret, which this thing does not have a fully rotating turret. This thing only has a limited turret rotation, just like the Death Star. That's it. Now, you would think with this thing having a huge turret on it that it would be able to block some things, that they would have put some more armor on there. Even though this thing, I believe, sits a little bit taller than the Death Star, not by much, but it does sit up a little bit higher. But that's one of the problems. This thing is so big, it's like a house. It's like the Waffle E100 in a sense. I mean, it's not as tall, but I mean, this thing is like a beacon of hope. It's like if you're in a KV2, you know, a KV2 has a nasty derp gun that you can have on it, but people can see you a mile away. But even that has better armor than this, I believe. I haven't looked at the stats, but it feels like it has better armor than this thing. This thing just, I don't know. Even my SU-100Y has, I think, better armor than this thing. And I should look that up in a little bit just to see if it does. So I'm worried about that. I'm really, really worried. I'm in a tier 10. I've got a really amazing gun on it. But yet, I can't get hit. If I get hit, I'm going to die. And the other thing I want to point out in a few minutes is, once again, we're going to go back to the hit points. We're going to go back to the hit points in a few minutes. But anyways, let's move on into stats. I just wanted to show that the stats of the armor is really different in each other. A huge difference in each other. And that is a factor for me, because both of these tanks have the same gun. So why wouldn't I go with the Death Star instead of this? We'll talk about that on the review video. Anyways, so both of these tanks have 183 millimeter. The rate of fire on the Stage 2 is 2 rounds a minute. Same thing as the Death Star. The penetration is 310 if you're using regular armor-piercing rounds, and 275 if you're using the HESH rounds. I believe I said that right. HESH or HEAT. I always fuck that up. It's HESH. Always fuck that up. Anyways, so yes, HESH rounds. So 275 pen with HESH rounds. Same thing as the Death Star. Now, the damage on this thing with just standard rounds is 1,150, where in the HESH rounds it's 1,750. Now, I always run HESH rounds on the Death Star. I'm going to run HESH rounds on this tank as well. You know, I don't see why I wouldn't do that. It's a really powerful gun, and the HESH rounds usually do pretty well for me. But they both have the same damage. Now, the difference is if I'm in my Death Star and I get hit by a different Death Star, of course that's going to hurt if he gets the full 1,750. And I believe it can even go higher. What's the estimated value at? And I apologize for not having this out. It could go up to 2,188. Okay, so anywhere from 1,313 to 2,188. But the standard average is 1,750. So, that 2,100, if I get hit by that in my Death Star, of course I'm only going to have like a couple hundred hit points left. Or no, I'm not going to have any hit points left. But the thing is that's a really hard roll to get. That's a really hard roll to get. I've never done that much damage in one hit. Now, if I'm in my Stage 2 and I get hit by a Death Star or another FV4005 Stage II, I'm pretty much dead. I mean, even with the standard 1,750 roll, I'm pretty much dead. I've got about, what is that, about 100 hit points left. That sucks. Where if I was in a Death Star and I got hit by 1,750, I'm still going to have a decent amount of armor left, or hit points left, but it's not going to be a lot. And I apologize for getting that wrong earlier, where I would say the Death Star would survive at 2,000 something. But yeah, that's just ridiculous. I could pretty much get one-shotted by my own tank. That's crazy. That is crazy. Anyways, moving on. So the camo rating on this is low, and if I remember right, on the Death Star, it's below average. But this is like the premium of premium low shit. It has no camo at all, so don't even waste your time using, like a camo net or anything like that. So let's talk about the equipment I would put on this tank. For instance, we already talked about what rounds we're going to be using. So basically, and the other thing is, I forgot to point out, is that the view range on this tank is only 390, where I believe the Death Star is 400. So you're even getting a worse view range on this thing than you do in the Death Star, which is kind of funny because this tank is so tall and stuff. You would think it'd be able to view a little bit further, but I guess not. But anyways, going back to the equipment that I would put on here. Right now, I've got the enhanced gun laying drive just to help with the aim speed a little bit. Because, of course, these things do take a while to aim in. The binocular telescope, maybe eventually, because most things are going to outspot me. I'm not going to get a large caliber gun rammer. That would be stupid. No matter, I mean, it's not stupid. I shouldn't say that. I mean, it would increase, maybe if I'm, instead of a 30-second reload, it would be maybe a 28 or 27 reload, which means if I was going against another tank that looks just like me, I would beat them to the punch, which is always good. But I don't think I'm going to put it on. I don't know. It's up in the air. Wet ammo rack class 2, I think I might do that because, this is a very tall tank with very little armor. Anybody with HESH rounds or heat rounds or anything like that could ammo rack me very easily. So this might be a good thing to have on there. And I think that would be it in that sense. I mean, like I said, that's pretty much all I would put on this tank if I had a choice of different things. But we only get 3 spots, so pretty much what I'm going to do is binocular telescope just so I can view a little bit further than I do now. And then maybe the wet ammo rack. Maybe. So, anyways, let's jump into a battle and see what we can do. Alright, so we're on Hidden Village. Just got here. We're going to be going against tier 10s, tier 9s, tier 8s. Wow. The query system was really bad. Like, there was, like, barely anybody playing right now. Which is kind of weird, because I usually do get a decent amount of people coming in. Yeah, he hates me. That's fine. That's fine. Now, one of the things about this map is that it's pretty open. It's pretty nice and open. And this is going to come into our advantage because we need to play very supportably in this tank. From our understanding of the stats, we need to stay way back away from anybody's sights and stuff like that. Now, the traverse on this thing feels pretty good. The turret traverse gonna be slow if we get encountered by a light tank. So we're gonna have to turn our turret and our whole body at the same time to help us get that thing turned around quicker. But yeah, it's not bad right now. I feel like I'm a tall bastard, but other than that. Of course, my auto drive turns off. Alright, anyways, I feel like we're going to come up here with these guys and help them out with shooting anybody that comes in this middle area. But the only problem I have is the aim time might hinder me a little bit. And as you can see, this waffle has a better chance, and the flash has a better chance of shooting people quicker than I do. It's going to take me a little bit to aim in, which does suck. And I have to push up here a little bit further because I don't want to get in the way of these other guys and what they're doing. Here's an E100, but I'm so tall I can't get my stupid gun depression down. That is a big boo-boo. That is a big no-no for me. If I can't get my gun depression down, this might cause me some problems later on. Well, it's causing me problems now. Because look at some of these big tanks. No, I wonder if we back up and help these guys over here with these tanks. You know, we might be able to do that. I'm okay with that. If we can actually hit them. That's the problem. Might not even get a chance to shoot at them. Somebody might kill him before we get a chance to do anything. The Tiger 2, we could definitely knock the crap out of him. Wings of Pegasus. I apologize, this might hurt a little bit. No, he's barely showing himself. Oh! The problem with having to be able to stay back, staying back, is that we might miss our shots. Now, this guy would have been a prime target. But we're getting seen by a fucking light tank. It's gonna piss me off. Yeah, I see you, T-49. Ow. Got Type 61 shooting at us, which is not good. He's probably gonna get another shot into us. Stay away for a little bit. So our first battle is not going good at all. Wow. It's not even going to be worth. It's not even going to worth my time to sit there and try to shoot that guy. Type 61 is there. He's trying to run, and he got away. T110E5. What is this? STI. Alright, so we did only 632 because his tracks took majority of the hit. This guy's right on my butt, which is not a good thing to be doing. Our backside's about to fall, which sucks. So I might as well just turn around and get ready for these guys to push over, because this is going to suck. So this map turned in from fun to big old shits. There's 865 out of that. Now we're gonna die. Now we're gonna die. Alright guys, so we were defeated. We lost 22,000 silver, only made 135 experience points. Only did 1,565 damage. That sucked. That sucked badly. As you can see here, we did nothing. I think one of the problems we had on that map is not only did we not have a good area to go to, or the area we went to wasn't efficient for our tank. I should have played back further. I feel like I should have stayed a little bit back where we started at, and then maybe got some shots on those tigers. But the thing is, I didn't know where they were going to come up at. Maybe would have been able to get some better shots in. The other problem is they were using a pretty decent hold down position where barely any of their tanks were coming up. So, and with this gun, it's not going to be the best to be able to hit people. So, from a distance, and as you can see, my team just terrible. Anyways, all right, guys, we're on Swamp Standard Battle, going against tier 10s, tier 9s, tier 8s. Pretty much a mimic of our last game. They have an extra tier 9 than we do. But hopefully we could do a little bit better on this map than we did on the other game. That last game was just terrible. But that's what happens on first impression videos. Is, you know, we take these things out for the very first time. I'm not going to sit there and show you my best battles. You know, first impression is just what happens the very first time you take these tanks out. So, if it goes good, it goes good. If it goes bad, it goes bad. But you can see that I'm going to have a hard time learning this tank. It seems like I'm really going to have to really think about where I'm going to go and different things like that. Now, I'm going to go to a spot on this map where I like going with my Waffle E100. The problem is, this thing's camo rating is shit. And as you saw in the last one, we were getting spotted like crazy. And so I'm kind of worried about that. But the nice thing is, we got a T69 over there that can help us spot a little bit over here. I'm just worried about getting spotted myself. I really, really am. We don't have binoculars, so we're only doing 390 view range. And I'm just worried about what we might run into. I usually get a lot closer than this, than sitting next to this little mountainside. But like I said, my view range isn't the greatest, and pretty much everybody's going to see me there. And because of the speed on backing up is not the greatest. Look at that. I'm just pooping around right here. It's not the greatest. See what happens over here. Ah, we hit low. That's okay. We still got 600 points out of them. There's a huge... See, and we're already spotted by something I have no clue what. Who's spotting us? Don't know. But those guys are not going to give me an opportunity to shoot at them if I'm spotted. They are just going to light me up. Yeah, see, this is what it is. They are out-spotting me. I was trying to get a view range of how far that is, but I can't exactly see how far that is until I get my gun down and zoomed in. It's about 410. Alright, and we hit very shitty on the mouse because that is a really thick armor on that thing. Now, we could have shot in the side, but we got a chance of it hitting the tracks and stuff. The mouse is just one of those tanks that are really hard to really pen. We're going to try shooting the sides and see what happens if we can get a decent shot on it. But he is angled a little bit there. You know what? We should probably see if we can hit right here. Nope, 300. That's even worse. Trying to get a good spot, but we're not finding anything. We've got 9 rounds left. And that's another thing. This thing only holds 12, just like the Death Star. You would think it would hold more. It's got a big-ass turret, but it doesn't. See if we can get another hit on him. 400. Not much there. Not much there at all. So we just wasted, what is that, 4 shots? 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, yeah. On 1 on the mouse and 3 on the, or 1 on the E100 and 3 on the mouse, and barely did anything. But all of our shots have hit, though. That is one nice thing that's happened so far. So I'm kind of worried about coming out this way. There's a back chat over there. I'm kind of leaving the comfort of my home here. There is an IS-3 that I could do a lot of damage to. It's a leopard over there. Can't really get a shot on him. Can we get a shot maybe on the Foch? If the Foch is spotted again and he backs up or something, maybe we might be able to get a shot on him. But I'm not 100% sure. I gotta be careful with this leopard coming out. I really don't want to get hit by him. Now, in the Death Star, I would be pushing up a little bit more because I do have the ability to do that. You know, the armor will be able to bounce a couple things here and there, and I'll be able to get a shot in. On this thing, I'm too scared to push it out. I really am. That first game really fucked with me a little bit there. Me just getting pelted, and my life was just going down and down and down and down and down. And we missed because he was behind a rock. That's awesome. So that completely screwed up our shot. So we've missed one. We could have taken him out. But unfortunately, that did not happen. IS-3 still hiding himself pretty well. He moved behind. What do we have over here? There's the back chat. Going after the T-125, I think. There's an E-50. Could barely see him. I don't think it's worth shooting at. I really don't. Not only because of his hit points, but also because, yeah. There's a Waffle E-100 that spotted him, came up a little bit, and I'm spotted by something. Something has spotted me, and that's not good. That's never good. Now, can we hit this guy at all? And we missed. Round went to the right, it looked like. That sucks. That sucks. So we missed 2 rounds now on that guy. Alright, so maybe we should probably push up a little bit to the right side. See where this guy goes. Is he gonna go? Yeah, he's gonna go around the little base thing. Let's drop down here, get with these guys a little bit, see what we could do. Maybe get up on this side of the mountain and then start shooting backwards at some of those tank destroyers that are over there. Maybe. I mean, that is kind of far for us to be shooting in the sense of actually being able to see them. And see, we've been spotted by something. Something spotted us up there before we even get a chance to even do anything, which sucks terribly. We've got already artillery shooting at us, which is a big no-no. Do not want artillery going after us. Alright, so that Yak Panther is gone. Or Yak Panther 2, whatever you want to call it. J Panther. Our guys are just getting whaled by an E-100. That's around here somewhere. Probably the one that's over here. Is he... Yeah, Waffle E-100. ISU-152 is not coming out to play. He said screw that. And there's an Immortal player. That's cool. Highborn Juan. Is there another Immortal guy playing here? Nope, just him. Just him. Usually those guys like to run together. You know, get some practice in. Playing with the... Oh, God. E75. Not a big worry, but something to worry about. Got him. Don't know how much damage we did, but We actually got our first really good kill. Probably wasn't tons of hit points, but it was decent enough. Alright. Wow. So we've gotten 5 hits in. Majority of them been crap. We've missed a couple of shots. But we've actually gotten a couple of shots in. So I'm happy about that. This ISU 152 keeps coming up and then going back down. That annoys me because I can never get aimed in quick enough. How is that back chat still alive? I do not know how he is still alive. Yeah, see, I'm not getting enough of that ISU for me to be able to do anything to him. Of course, now I've got a problem over here. I got a tier 10 Yogg Tiger that this is going to be a shit shot to do. Because I'm going to hit his gun mantle like that and barely pin him. So, there you go. We got to get out of here so we don't get hit by the, the tier 10, French artillery autoloader. And he could do 300-400 damage, which to me will hurt. Now that Patton needs to move because that back chat will load up pretty quickly. And probably shoot again. I mean, there's a good chance he might shoot again. Alrighty, so our 2-1-10-5 is pushing a little bit. We've got 4 rounds left. Not enough to kill everybody on the game. Once we run out, that's going to be it for us. Still getting spotted. Yogg Tiger is definitely... Ooh, nice job, Artie. What are you? Lorraine 155-51. Nice little artillery. Nice artillery. I'm thinking about going down here and just screwing with this leopard. Like, screwing him over badly. Oh my god, this would be funny as fuck. Oh my god! Now that, my friends, was amazing. It was so worth taking a little bit of damage. Ramming him and then shooting him. That works. I'm cool with that. Now this back chat has barely any life. We really shouldn't waste a round on it, but he is a nuisance. It doesn't matter if a tank has 1 hit point like he did, or 100 of, or you know, 1,000 hit points. They all still fire the same. They all still hit the same as they did at full health. So you need to get rid of them as soon as possible. You don't want to sit there and play around with them. You want to get rid of whatever tank you can, even if it has little hit points. What is this tank up here? Is this the RHM? It is. No, RHM was able to get the hit in. Oh, someone got him. Someone got him. Well, we're getting a little bit better at this tank. But Jesus, man, how supportively have we had to play in this thing? And how easily have we been detected in this thing? I mean, Jesus. Look at the water effects. Look at how it goes away. That is so cool. This is a perfect tank to check out the weather effects with. Now this guy, I know he shot 2 rounds. So I think he only has 2 rounds left. Yeah, he's gone. If he even gets that other round off. I was going to say, he either has 2 rounds left or he's reloading. Alright, so that last battle we did a lot better, but we still lost a lot of money because a couple missed shots, and then majority of our rounds did not hit hard enough. We did do 4,000 experience points. What is this? Okay, so top 5 XP points. We destroyed 2 tanks. We did 4,106 damage, 7 penetrating shots out of the 12. Well, not out of the 12, but 7 of our rounds that we shot hit. Like I said, we missed 2 shots. So, anyways, we came in 3rd place. Not bad, but I'm not really super happy with the results. I mean, we did get a Mastery Badge 3, so there you go. Yeah, let's take a look at the details of how much money we just wasted because we couldn't get out there and do too much. So, there are 72,000 silver in ammunition. Wow, and we only earned 39,000 silver. So 72,000 in ammunition spent. Wow. That is just crazy ridiculous. So, the E100, we did 643 damage. The Leopard, 656, which was actually the funniest thing ever to do. I'm glad we caught that. 1,044 damage inflicted on the E75, which is our biggest hit today, which is nice. I'm glad we actually did 1,000 something because I was getting tired of shooting at people and not doing a damn thing to them. The Mad Hatter's crew, the black, was that Blackety Bird? Yeah. We did 1,276, and then Bear 807, we did 487. Where did Immortals come? Okay, so he came in 4th. ISU 152. Alrighty. Alrighty, guys, so we're going to be wrapping up this first impression video now. So my thoughts and my first thoughts on this tank. I'm not liking it, but so much. It's got its pros and cons, but there's a lot more cons than pros, to be honest with you. And like I said, this is not a review. This is me simply giving you my first thoughts on the tank. And once I've played this tank a lot more, I'll do a review. But right now, not enjoying the tank, but so much. Really, really not. And the reason is we were getting spotted like crazy. Because of the camera rating, we are getting fucked over like crazy. Now, the view range also screws us. If we had a 400 view range, we'd be able to shoot a little bit further. And spot people a little bit further. But we're getting outspotted by everybody. It's not even funny. We're getting spotted so easily. And you saw that in that first game. That first game, we just got annihilated by getting spotted. And then our team pretty much failed. And I got overrun. I got a couple of hits in, but that was it. The second game went a lot better, but we were still getting spotted like crazy. We got a couple of hits in on some people. One really good hit on that E75, but, you know, we got screwed over by trying to penetrate a mouse, which can suck like crazy. And we should have had armor-piercing rounds for that. I know you guys are going to say I should have a couple. But I like running my hedge rounds, so there. But yeah, I should have had a couple extra armor-piercing rounds for him and a couple other tanks. You know, they come in handy when you can't hit somebody in a weak spot. You know, a lot of these tier 10s are going to have decent armor. Unless you're going against another FV4005 Stage II. The gun worked just as magically as it always does. You know, getting random hits in the sense of damage-wise. But really, all in all, there's a lot more cons to this thing than anything. And the gun depression, Jesus Christ, that thing was crap. I know the gun depression on the Death Star is a little shitty too, but Jesus Christ, at least that thing's just lower to the ground. So when I'm in a situation kind of like I was in that first map where I was going to hit the E100, I would have been flatter on the ground with the Death Star. So right now, not a huge fan of this tank. I think it's cool, and I think in certain maps I will be fine. Sandy River, was it Malinovica? I think, I can't remember. Airport or Airfield. A couple of those really open maps, I will be fine in. I can sit way back and shoot a long range or a long ways. That last map wasn't a bad one, but you know where we sat at wasn't the greatest either for this particular tank. it's a work in progress. It's definitely a work in progress, but I'll give you my final thoughts on the review video and let you know what I think. I just I don't know yet. I'm not really happy with the tank, and that's really sad because I grinded all this way to it. Um, but we'll see what happens in the future. So, anyways, guys, hit that like button. Thank you so much for coming out. Only hit it if you really like the video. If you don't, then yeah, you just tell me to go fuck off or something like that. I've been getting that all the time ever since I started. So, anyways, yeah. So I'm gonna keep grinding on this tank. I don't know what tomorrow's video is gonna be. I apologize for not uploading yesterday, but I was dealing with homeowners insurance and different things like that for the new house. So that took a lot longer than I thought it was gonna take. But yeah. Anyways, guys, I'm WizardKen. Thank you so much for coming out. Until next time, see ya.